Stay down, drop the gun. Hey, drop the gun. Drop the gun.
Welcome to First Person Defender, where regular people come face to face with unknown attackers.
Whoa! Drop the gun! Drop it! Drop the gun! Come after me! Drop the gun!
And fight their way out. This is First Person Defender.
Today on First Person Defender, Dick walks into a store in an unknown situation. What happens when things get close?
These force-on-force scenarios use training guns that fire non-lethal projectiles.
My name's Dick Jones. I'm from High Point, North Carolina. I do a lot of things, but one of the things I do these days is teach people how to shoot. I have done force-on-force training before, and it was really neat. I thought I performed really well in what I did, but at the same time, I realized that there's really a lot to think about. We don't know how we're going to be under pressure. This is not real pressure. I know that I'm not going to die today. But at the same time, we don't know. I tell people in my classes that if something bad would happen and I'd have to use deadly force, I might fight like John Wick and I might fight like Barney Fife. I don't know until I'm under pressure how I'm going to do.
Dick is 70 years old now, and he is moving slower than he used to, but he's still very thoughtful. He carries every day. He has the right mindset. I'm really hoping that he reacts as he normally would, which ultimately generally leads to success. Dick's a diehard fisherman. So Dick's going to pick up a fishing reel that he had repaired by a friend of his. When he enters the shop, the scenario begins.
Dick heads in to get his favorite fishing reel from the local tackle shop. He's met with a loud gunshot. Does he act to prevent further attacks, or does he stay out of the fight?
Ryan's going to bring you your fishing reel.
Oh, okay.
Come on, you know how this works out.
Good.
Down
I
here.
We got the drag in it.
No.
Round?
It was getting
Come on.
Round?
Yeah, turn around. You want to see it coming?
Dude, you're not gonna do
Yep. Hey, get that recorder. All right. I got the money he owes us. I mean, yeah, I got the money.
Not supposed to be here.
Hey, stop.
Hey, out of my way, old man. Out of my way.
Call 911. I'm at Griff's fishing shop. Something just happened. I heard a firearm go off in the back room. I need medical here. I've got somebody that's been shot. He's on the ground. There was a robbery.
Index, index, index. Walk me through what just happened, everything.
Okay, so I go into the tackle shop. I'm waiting for the fella to come out with my reel. I hear a noise that sounds like a gunshot. A guy walks through carrying a box, and I had no idea exactly what was going on. I had concern about what was going on in here, but the other part of it is, had I come through that door, I could have walked right into the middle of something, and I wasn't really sure that this was a firearm. I heard a pop, but it wasn't not necessarily a firearm. The second guy came through, and as he got closer, he showed me a gun, but he was already out the door. And at that point, I was more concerned with who was in here. And I called 911 at that point.
Did you feel grateful that you didn't get shot in the back while you were looking at the guy walk across the parking lot?
Yeah.
When you turned around, there was a guy with a gun in his hand.
That's true. That's true.
How do you feel about luck?
Luck counts, but you can't count on luck.
Yeah, I mean, you were lucky he didn't shoot
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You didn't do anything wrong.
And it would have been, you know what? It would have really been nice to have shot him too, if I got shot. But at the same time, I could have been just as dead.
So, let's work on a technique.
Okay.
And here's what I call it. I just call it redirect, control, counterattack. your counterattack was already set up. So
Yep.
we got to work on redirect and control.
The STK-100 from Rock Island Armory is a new gun, but it's a little bit different. This is an aluminum frame gun, which makes it really comfortable to shoot. 17+1 capacity and a 9mm gun. This is the one you're going to want to take to the range. Check it out. The STK-100 from Rock Island Armory.
Here we are, scene of the crime. At some point, you've got your hand on your gun and you're looking out this door. And you're thinking, what the hell was that? And then you see Kevin coming along and you see the gun in his hand. He's got his gun halfway into his pants and he's coming by. And you just kind of watch him. You look at him, you look at the gun.
Looking at, old man.
Until that happens right there, until that motion happens, this is what I'm looking for, that lift. Because see how his shoulder has to move to lift? So if I'm standing here, I look at him and he's just kind of easing his way out the door, and that starts happening. Now my inclination is I want to push this gun into him, but that's not going to probably work because I'm going to knock my gun out of battery. I can't shoot from here. Why?
Because you're there.
Yeah, my arm's right there. My inclination is I want to push this gun into him, but that's going to knock it out of
Right.
battery and it may not fire. But you see how I don't have to be super strong. And that took you off your balance.
Yep.
And all I did was stop this motion and put my body into him and get this gun up high. Because after all, I want to shoot him up here anyways.
Yeah.
I don't want to shoot myself,
Right.
you know, in the arm, because this is bad. This is very bad. But as soon as I see that go ahead for that motion, I reach out. But I have to be willing to do that. I have to commit to that. If his gun was out of the holster and it was just hanging at his side and I see it start coming up towards me, all I want to do is I want to redirect that gun. I want to get my body out of the way, and I may have to come up here and do this. A lot of people's inclination is go right to guns. It is not necessarily the best thing. Sometimes you have to stop their gun from moving, and it doesn't mean you won't get shot,
Yeah.
but at least you won't have one in your head or center mass if you do
Right.
things right. So you're standing there, you're looking out the window. He comes by and he says,
What are you looking at, old man?
fall on him, fall on him. You gotta remember, he doesn't expect you to
No.
reach for his gun.
Absolutely not.
If you tell him, hey, when I move, you move,
I'll beat you.
just like that,
Yeah.
that's always gonna be bad. That's part of the problem with training, because it's not organic.
Okay.
What are you looking at? Yeah, that was a lot better.
New from Ruger is the LC carbine, chambered in 5.7 by 28. This is a really cool gun, fun on the range, but could be a great home defense gun or a truck gun. Go check it out at Ruger.com.
When I get a new handgun and I go out to the range, sometimes I find that my timing's not great and I get a little bit flinchy. So I do some dry fire. Well, dry fire is great, but live fire confirms what we learned during dry fire practice. So I've got a revolver here today and I do a drill called 5 in 1. It's 5 dry presses to 1 live round. What's important is that when I dry fire, I move that hammer and that trigger at the same speed that I fire that live fire round in. I'm not gonna get ready and think, okay, here comes the live one. I'm gonna make it more perfect. Well, as long as the sights are in that black circle down there, I just keep pressing the trigger. Now, if I find that I'm still flinchy while I'm doing my dry fire practice, well, I've got a problem. So since I have 6 chambers in here, I'm gonna put 1 round in this revolver. And I'm gonna go through my 5 dry, and when that live one comes up, I'm gonna roll right through it just the same. So I'm gonna work through nice and smooth. Well, that one hit a little bit low and left, which is generally a sign of trigger jerk. But this gun has adjustable sights. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm not gonna move the sights on this gun until I get a group. Well, that one's low and left also. I'm gonna do it again. I won't move the sights until I get a group down there. Now, we don't shoot groups. Groups happen by doing the same thing over and over, but we're gonna put one more in. Well, apparently I need to make a little bit of a sight adjustment. I've got a nice group down low and left, which means I can bring that rear sight up and I can drift it over to the right just a little bit. But I know that in my dry fire, my sights were solid, I was seeing the target beyond, and now I can make an educated move of my sights. So next time you're out at the range, you get a little bit flinchy, take the ammo out, work on some dry fire, and try doing 5 and 1. 5 dry, 1 live. I think you'll like the results.
First Person Defender brought to you by Springfield Armory, Ruger, and Safariland. Back at the tackle shop, Dick is confronted and attacked. Is he able to utilize his training to ward off what approaches next?
Where's all the money? Where's the safe?
What are you doing here? Are you looking for Ryan?
Yeah, I came by to pick up a fishing reel.
Yeah, he's back there. Come on, let's go.
Huh?
Let's go back there. He's
No,
back there.
I'm gonna wait for him out here.
I really think you should come back.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
I think you should.
Stay down, drop the gun. Hey, drop the gun. Drop the gun. Drop the gun.
Hey, what's going on out here?
Who are you?
Hey, what? Hey,
Who are you?
why do you have a gun?
Put the gun down. Because that guy just tried to shoot me. Put the gun down.
What? Okay.
Back up against the wall. Let me see your hands. Calling 911. I have a medical emergency at Gill's Tackle Shop. I have somebody who's been shot, and I have an unidentified man with a gun. I'm wearing a green shirt and olive pants.
All right, index, index, index. All right, what happened? Looks like you got shot a bunch, so.
I got shot a bunch. So I came in, I kind of went for KJ, but not as hard as I should have gone for him. So I got a shot on KJ, KJ got one on me.
Then what happened? Then you guys get in another gunfight.
We get
with him on
another
the ground.
gunfight. He hit me in the finger and the elbow, apparently. I shot him again, and then Todd came in, and I had Todd against the wall. But once again, I don't know exactly who Todd is. So I don't know if Todd is affiliated with Kevin or not, just because he comes through the door with a gun. Kind of the same thing we were talking about a while ago. He could have been a good guy who was coming in to investigate what had happened in here. So I made him put the gun on the table, stand against the wall. He made me nervous because he was kind of standing sideways and that sort of thing, and the gun was close enough that he could have spun around and got the gun. At that point, since Kevin was on the ground.
So the guy on the ground with a gun in his hand, and he's ever so slowly bringing it towards you.
I know. I should have shot him. I don't know why I didn't shoot him.
So So you weren't aggressive enough when you tried to stop him. He closed in on you and he kind of brandished the gun, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And then I did a half-assed stop and got shot and shot him. And actually, he probably got a better shot on me than I got on him.
It wasn't because it was right-handed or left-handed.
No, it was because it was half-assed.
So let's remember, when we do any kind of hand-to-hand stuff, it is very hard. We can't always go, 100%. But on a gun grab, there's no risk of anybody getting hurt. You might stub a finger going in, but there are no half measures. There can be no half measures. This guy on the ground, no half measures. He's still got a gun in his hand and he's not listening to you.
Right.
You have to be an animal.
You have to be really, really hard.
When I trained the teachers, I always said, if you can't handle rough language and blood right now and a little bit of sweat, what are you going to do when it really happens?
Right.
Hey, thanks for watching First Person Defender. Did you know there are more ways to follow what Gun Talk's doing? Like guntalk.com, gundealio.com, the Gun Talk podcasts, and the Gun Talk email newsletter. Follow us, interact with us. Thanks for watching.